Welcome to Case Chronicles by Case Radar, a podcast where we delve into the fascinating world of court cases and judgments. I'm David Dio, your host, and together we'll explore the stories behind some of the most significant legal discussions, unraveling the complexities of the law one case at a time. Whether you're a legal professional, a law student, or just someone with a keen interest in justice, Case Chronicles by Case Radar is here to provide you with insightful analysis and compelling narratives straight from the courtroom. So, sit back, relax, and join us as we journey through the intricacies of the legal system, shedding light on the rulings that shape our society. Let's get started.
Hi there, Case Radar listeners. Welcome back to Case Chronicles, the podcast where we break down all of the legal drama and victories playing out in Nigeria's courts. I'm your host, and today's episode is all about an emotional battle over pension contributions, wrongful deductions, and a widow's pursuit of justice. Our case today is Dr. Mrs. Temilola Anike Akinsanmi versus University of Ilorin and IEI-Anchor Pension Managers Limited, heard in the National Industrial Court of Nigeria, Abuja Judicial Division. The case number is NICN/ABJ/94/2021 and was presided over by Honorable Justice O.A. Obaseki Osayi. This judgment was delivered on January 26, 2024, and it takes us deep into a dispute over pension deductions that were never remitted. And this left a widow to fight for her deceased husband's rightful entitlements. Our story begins with Dr. Mrs. Temilola Akinsanmi, who's fighting for the pension contributions of her late husband, Dr. Francis Akinsanmi. Dr. Francis was employed as a contract staff by the University of Ilorin, serving as a senior lecturer in the Faculty of Agriculture. He was on a 2-year contract, which was renewed multiple times until his unfortunate death on February 1st, 2017. Now, you would think that Dr. Francis's pension contributions could have been handled properly given his years of service, but that was not the case. Even though the university deducted pension contributions from his salary, those deductions were never remitted to his retirement savings account. When Dr. Mrs. Akinsanmi tried to retrieve these contributions, she was told that there were no records of remittances, and worse yet, the deductions had been made even though her husband shouldn't have been subjected to pensions in the first place. This realization led her to file a lawsuit against the university and its pension fund administrator, IEI-Anchor Pension Managers. Representing Mrs. Akinsanmi was her legal counsel, T.A. Salami, while the university was defended by Sinat Jimo alongside J.B. Okudari. The stakes in this case were high, as Dr. Mrs. Akinsanmi sought justice not only for her husband, but for herself and their family. She made the following claims. 1. A declaration that the deductions made by the university from her late husband's salary were wrongful, fraudulent, and illegal. 2. A refund of the pension contributions amounting to 3,098,844 naira and 7 kobo, along with accrued interest. 3. General and exemplary damages of 5 million naira for the pain and suffering caused by the wrongful deductions. 4. Legal costs of 850,000 naira for pursuing the case. The university's defense? They denied any wrongdoing. They claimed that they had no responsibility for the pension deductions since Dr. Francis was a contract staff, and that all payroll matters were handled by the Accountant General of the Federation. And the courtroom drama centered around who was responsible for the deductions and why they were made. Dr. Mrs. Akinsanmi argued that her husband was wrongly placed on the university's nominal role as a permanent employee, which led to the pension deductions. However, these deductions were never remitted to his RSA, creating a situation where the university had effectively taken money without providing the benefits. The university's representatives, Deputy Registrar Moses Ademola Okpaleke, argued that the university had no control over the deductions and claimed that, it was a mistake by the Accountant General's office. And Okpaleke insisted that Dr. Francis, as a contract staff, was not entitled to pension contributions and that the university had no obligation to remit those deductions. However, Dr. Akinsanmi presented strong evidence, including her husband's pay slips and communications with the pension fund administrator, which showed clear deductions labeled as pension contributions. Furthermore, a letter from the National Pension Commission, PENCOM, revealed that the university had indeed placed Dr. Francis on the permanent staff nominal role, leading to the wrongful deductions. And now, Justice Obaseki Osayi delivered a detailed ruling, which was a resounding victory for Dr. Mrs. Akinsanmi. The court declared that the deductions from Dr. Francis's salary were wrongful and illegal, as contract staff are not subject to the contributory pension scheme under Nigerian law. And then the judge found that the University of Ilorin was responsible for the error, as they had wrongly included Dr. Francis's name in the permanent staff nominal role. Justice Obaseki Osaye ordered the university to refund the sum of 3,098,844 naira and 7 kobo to Dr. Mrs. Akinsanmi, along with any accrued interest. Furthermore, the court awarded her 1 million naira in general damages for the suffering she had endured and an additional 500,000 naira in legal costs. This was a hard-fought victory that reaffirmed the importance of accountability and fairness in employment matters, especially when it comes to pension rights. So, what we can take away from this episode is that there's an importance of adhering to proper payroll and pension processes. Like, you cannot make mistakes in categorizing employees, especially when it comes to contract staff, right, versus permanent staff. It has significant financial and legal consequences. It also underscores the rights of employees and their families to pursue justice, even after the employee's death. Mrs. Akinsanmi's perseverance made her go to the ends of the justice system to make sure that her husband's estate received what was rightfully theirs, even though it took years of litigation to resolve. And finally, to wrap up, the judgment is a reminder to institutions that negligence in handling pension contributions would not be tolerated by the courts. Employers should be diligent in ensuring that all deductions are lawful and properly remitted. That's it for today's short episode, guys. See you next time.
Thank you for joining us on this episode of Case Chronicles by Case Radar. We hope you found this deep dive into the legal intricacies both informative and engaging. Until next time, this is your host signing off.